The intermittent breadcrumbing. You check your phone 40 times an hour. They vanished for 2 days, but suddenly a random, "Hey, thinking of you" text appears, and your heart races. You think this is chemistry, but it is actually B.F. Skinner's theory of intermittent reinforcement. Your brain's dopamine pathways are being hijacked by unpredictability. In psychology, a reward that is given randomly is far more addictive than a reward given consistently. You aren't experiencing love. You are experiencing a trauma bond rooted in withdrawal. Your nervous system is spiking dopamine, not because they are a great partner, but to soothe the acute anxiety of their absence. You are addicted to the relief of the text, not the person sending it. But what happens when you start defending their inconsistency? The potential mirage. When your friends point out their red flags, you immediately counter with, "But you don't know how they are when we're alone." You are focusing heavily on their potential rather than their reality. This is driven by projection and the halo effect. When someone gives you minimal data about who they actually are, your brain cannot tolerate the ambiguity. So it automatically fills in the blank spaces with your own idealized traits. You project your own capacity for empathy, loyalty, and growth onto a completely empty vessel. The devastating twist is that you are essentially dating your own imagination. You are in a relationship with a ghost that you built in your own head to avoid facing the deeply mediocre person sitting right in front of you. And to keep that ghost alive, you have to play a very dangerous game. The low-maintenance trap. You swallow your need for clarity. You don't ask where this is going. You accept last-minute plans, and you pretend it doesn't bother you when they still have dating apps on their phone. You are trying to be the cool, low-maintenance option. Psychologically, this is an anxious attachment style masquerading as avoidant. You are systematically suppressing your core biological attachment needs to avoid triggering their flight response. But suppressing emotions requires immense cognitive load, spiking your cortisol and causing chronic, low-grade somatic stress. The brutal truth? By trying to be the most chill and convenient option, you guarantee you will never be the chosen option. People do not value what they do not have to invest in. Yet, despite knowing this logically, your body refuses to let go, thanks to a specific chemical hijacker, the Oxytocin Illusion. You spend the night together, the physical intimacy is incredible, and for the next 12 hours, you feel entirely secure. Then they leave, and the panic immediately sets back in. You are trapped in an evolutionary mismatch. During physical touch and intimacy, your brain releases massive floods of oxytocin and vasopressin. These are the exact neurochemicals designed by millions of years of mammalian evolution to force long-term pair bonding for survival. Your biology is literally screaming lifelong commitment, while modern dating culture is whispering, "Let's just see how it goes." The twist is that you are trying to outlogic your own endocrine system. You cannot casually consume a neurochemical designed to bind your soul to another human being without massive psychological whiplash. So why don't you just walk away? Enter the most expensive bias in human psychology, the sunk cost anchor. You realize you've spent 9 months in this nebulous gray area. The thought of leaving makes you physically sick because it means admitting you wasted almost a year of your life. This is the sunk cost fallacy. The human brain is inherently loss-averse. We are mathematically wired to prefer enduring a guaranteed, familiar misery over accepting a perceived loss. You convince yourself that if you just wait 1 more month, your investment will finally pay off with a relationship label. But time is not a currency you can get a refund on. The twist is that the time is already gone. By staying to protect the past 9 months, you are actively paying for a past mistake with your future. But even when you do find the strength to pull away, they have an uncanny ability to reel you back in. The phantom jealousy. You finally start pulling your energy back. You go on a date with someone else, or you just stop replying as quickly. Suddenly, the person who couldn't commit to dinner on a Tuesday is blowing up your phone, acting jealous, and giving you all the attention you begged for. You mistake this for a sudden realization of love. In evolutionary psychology, this is known as mate guarding, triggered by perceived scarcity. Their renewed interest has absolutely nothing to do with your value. It is a territorial reflex triggered by a loss of control. control. The twist? They do not actually want to be with you. They just want to make absolutely sure no one else has you. Once you are safely back in their pocket, the attention will evaporate just as quickly as it appeared, masked only by empty words. The future-faking snare. They casually mention a concert you should both go to next summer, or they make a passing joke about what your kids would look like. Yet, they refuse to solidify plans for this upcoming weekend. This is future faking. It creates intense cognitive dissonance in your brain. You cling to these microscopic, hypothetical verbal promises to resolve the painful reality of their daily, tangible neglect. Future faking isn't an actual promise of commitment. It is a high-level stalling tactic. They are buying your present-day loyalty, body, and emotional support with a currency that does not exist. They are keeping you on the hook with a future they have absolutely zero intention of funding. Which brings us to the final, most devastating reason you refuse to leave: the ego validation loop. Deep down, you secretly believe that if you can just get this specific, emotionally unavailable person to finally commit to you, it will prove that you are worthy of love. You have externalized your locus of identity. You are using a broken person's approval to regulate your own self-worth, turning them into the ultimate judge of your value. The final brutal twist is that this isn't about them at all. You don't actually love them. You are using their unavailability to subconsciously recreate a childhood wound or a past rejection, desperately hoping that this time you can force the ending to change. But a situationship is not a waiting room for a relationship. It is the final destination, and as long as you let them decide your worth, you will always be priced at a discount.